tastiest thing I ate. Okay, you know what? That's a good point. That brings me to an interesting story about CDawgVA. Connor. You guys probably know CDawg. He's one of the guys on the Trash Taste podcasts. Do you guys want to know a little secret about CDawg? A little secret about Connor? It involves a luncheon that he and I had. You want me to spill the tea? I'll spill the tea. This will probably end up as a clip on YouTube, but it's true. There's some real drama here. Let me tell you something. Let me get real for a second. I'm watching the chat to see how many people are really focusing, really listening to this. There's a podcast called Trash Taste Podcast. One of the main guys on it's called Connor, CDawgVA. Lovely chap. But in order to explain how important what Connor did, I have to tell you something that I learned about myself while in Japan. This is genuine, this is true. I come from a very working class background. My mum and dad weren't rich. They always did well by me and my brother whenever it came to Christmas or birthdays, but we were never wealthy. You know, it was paycheck to paycheck, it was struggling, it was, you know, low money at the end of the month. We were never homeless. We were homeless for a very short amount of time, but we always had a roof to go back to. So my upbringing was kind of English working class. If you are English working class, you'll know exactly what that means. My grandparents spent a lot of their time raising me, my gran specifically. Now, whenever I spent time with my gran, we would always go to like these little dingy, greasy spoon cafes, you know, where the tables have always got this plastic tartan cloth on them, and the waitress always calls you hun, and at the end of a college day, you'd go and get like a kebab from a big Turkish man in a van who's 90% body hair, who calls you boss man. You know, that kind of vibe. Very kind of Liverpool late 90s, early 2000s thing. And that's comfortable for me. I like that. That to me is very, very genuine. Even this morning, I went into a lovely cafe in my local town, had a full English breakfast, was lovely. Waitress called me Han, it was fantastic. I just enjoyed it. So my comfort zone is when people are being genuine, when people are being human, when people are being warm, when people are laughing with you. You go into like a local pub and there's a couple of guys that already know you that'll take the piss out of your new haircut or a new suit that you're wearing because you're going for a kind of job interview. It's very homely and connected. So, when I was in Japan, and a couple of months before I went to Japan, I found a level of success on YouTube now that allows me to go and enjoy the finer things in life. I can go and have lunch at the Ivy if I want to. I can order 2 steaks instead of 1. And when I was in Japan, I stayed in a place called Ginza. And if you've been to Ginza, or if you know what Ginza is in Japan, it's the very fashionable, very expensive district. I walked out of my hotel, which is a very nice hotel, and you've got these incredibly expensive boutique shops all along. You've got like the flagships of Yves Saint Laurent, of Dior, it's very expensive. And when you walk in to one of the shops, they don't have a lot of clothes on display. You will immediately get a kind of private shopper walk up to you and greet you and take you around, and it becomes an experience. It's no longer about shopping like you're in Primark or TK Maxx. Suddenly, it's an event. You are a person. And I went to all these very expensive places to eat, where they bring you sushi and the chef tells you about all the things. And I've realized something about extravagant, wealthy lifestyles. I've realized I just hate it. I really don't like it. I am so uncomfortable. Like, if I walk into a shop and immediately one of the shop members walks up to me and is like, "Sir, let me take your jacket, let me show you around the latest fashion," I'm straight away thinking, I feel like I've immediately dehumanized you. Straight away. I feel there's an immediate power imbalance, and you are treating me as a superior, and I have to treat you as an inferior. Whenever I walk into these expensive restaurants and I sit down, I'm straight away thinking, have I committed a social faux pas by pulling out my chair wrong? Am I meant to drink from this glass instead of that glass? I know that normally with cutlery you start from the outside and work in, but I feel so uncomfortable with this kind of stuff. I don't like moneyed living. I don't like the wealthy kind of stuff. I like going to a dingy, greasy spoon cafe, having a nice walk around TK Maxx and buying something from Primark. They, don't get me wrong, it is their job. They do take pride in it, and I think that when they do it, it's phenomenal, it's fantastic, but I personally feel uncomfortable. Like, I've walked into places before and they've walked up and gone, "Can I help, sir?" And I've gone like, "Sup, dude?" And you can tell by me saying "sup, dude" to them, which is just the way that I talk to people, they're kind of put off and they're like, oh no, do I respond to the pleb in sup dude? Is he rich enough to be in this shop? Are you allowed to be here? Is your carer somewhere around? What should we do? I really feel that I don't vibe with that kind of lifestyle in general. So, the reason this loops back round to Connor, after I finished the Trash Taste podcast, I sat down with Connor and he looked at me and said, hey Josh, I've got about an hour or two before I've got to be somewhere. Do you want to grab lunch? Connor's a wealthy guy. And straight away I'm thinking, oh man, I've got to impress him. I've got to pretend that I know what I'm on about. I've got to flash the cash, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because my brain just does that straight away. And I say to him, I'd love to grab lunch, but I'm going to be honest, I think I'm a little bit pampered out of expensive food. So just somewhere casual. And Connor kind of looks back at me and just says, do you want to grab dumplings from this small little cafe? And I'm like, oh my God, yes. So he takes me down the road. We turn into this little unmarked cafe. We go in. There's plastic tables. There's plastic cups. This waitress walks over, all bubbly, all smiley, genuinely seems to be enjoying the day, chats to Connor, and he goes, do you want to get some dumplings? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I absolutely do. And then they just bring over a load of dumplings. There's no pomp. There's no circumstance. There's no prestige. There's no performance. We just sat and ate dumplings in this lovely little Greasy Spoon cafe. And it was frickin' brilliant. I didn't need to perform. We just sat and ate dumplings in this lovely little Greasy Spoon cafe. And it was frickin' brilliant. I didn't need to perform. He wasn't performing. The waitress wasn't treating us like we were any kind of, better or worse. It was just two guys getting food. And that honestly was one of the tastiest meals I had in Japan, simply because it was one of the few times that I was able to properly relax. So that was it. Ramen's nice too.